Terry, thank you.
You bet, Tucker.
Well, the IG report exposes plenty of misconduct by Jim Comey. DOJ prosecutors have decided not to take further action against him. Well, they reached the same decision with Andrew McCabe. Ian Pryor is a former spokesman at DOJ, and he joins us tonight. Ian, thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
What's the fallout for this? So this report comes out. A lot of us feel vindicated, also kind of shocked by it. There's lots of shouting on cable news. But what are the real-life implications of this report?
Well, I think first and foremost, the most important thing that we're going to see, if I'm Andy McCabe, I am shaking right now, because this has been what the second or third Inspector General report where somebody has been referred over to DOJ and they have to decide on prosecution. Now, they chose not to prosecute. I think they looked at the case and said, look, this is probably not the slam dunk case we want. But Andy McCabe is a slam dunk case. He lied to the FBI in an investigation. Now, you had Horowitz say, look, what Comey did here was a terrible example for the 35,000 employees of the FBI. What do you think, if you're DOJ and you're looking at the next issue that you have to deal with, what kind of example would it set if you let McCabe off the hook for actually lying in an FBI investigation? That's a terrible precedent.
I mean, it sounds like they're letting Comey off the hook here.
Well, look, I mean, there's two things to think about with Comey. One is the Federal Records Act, right? And so we're talking about federal records that he had to return to FBI or not take in the first place. Now, there's no criminal sentencing for that. There's no criminal charge for that. The classified piece is a little more complex because he gave the memos not to Richmond, but he gave all his memos to his lawyers, and there were small bits of classified information in there, but they were marked classified later. So the question is, did he know, right? We've done this before with Clinton. Did he know that those should have been classified at the time? And it's possible they looked at that and said, you know what, it's kind of a toss-up. I mean, you can make the argument that they shouldn't be classified. And so I'm not sure that we can get a conviction. Do we want to go after James Comey on this issue as opposed to maybe something down the road when you might not be able to get a conviction in federal court?
Interesting. But you're saying in the case of Andrew McCabe, it's not a close call.
No, I don't think it's a close call at all. I mean, he lied. It's clear that he lied. And now he's explained different, reasoning for it, and he's rationalized it, with his new gig and going out there and doing the media circuit. But
let me just pause and alert our audience in case they're not aware. His new gig, the one you referred to, is of course he's now a paid CNN contributor.
Which I think was probably smart by him, because he goes out and he's on CNN, and when he gets prosecuted, he can say, well, look, one of the reasons why they're prosecuting me is because I'm on CNN and the president hates CNN. Everything he's doing, whether it's suing DOJ, whether it's going on CNN, I think he's lining up a defense for a political prosecution when he gets indicted down the road.
But, I mean, just let's close out on this. I know it's hard to make a question nonpartisan in Washington right now because it's a really charged atmosphere. But let's be totally honest. This is not political. The guy lied in the course of official business as an FBI official. So
it's not political, and you look at all the people that went down in the Trump orbit for that exact reason. That standard to people that were in the Trump orbit, like Michael Flynn or Papadopoulos, why aren't you doing it for McCabe? So we don't know that they're not going to do it. I think that given the report here, given the fact that DOJ couldn't act because they probably didn't have the right case, I think that spells doom for Andy McCabe.
Interesting. Ian, thank you for that.
Thanks for having me.
We'll save that tape. Victor Davis.